I tell my students not to come and watch movies on their iPhone or as many professors today teach with videos and with slides on the computer big screen in the classroom. All that is toxic. It is against education. I tell them to take down their own notes. In other words, to construct, to write, and edit their own written version of the lecture,
Mm.
meaning their notes is their book about what they witnessed. And I tell them to start. This is lecture number 3. This is today's date is September 11. And write it all down. Uh, and your handwriting is in fact your signature that this thing is yours, because what you write with by hand, Andre, came from your brain. It came from your brain. It came to your arm. It had to you connect mind to hand coordination. You've heard that expression. Well,
Oh yeah.
that requires not just thinking. That requires animal design, and it is all yours. I'm not doing it for you. And this is why people would teach with videos and with slides, and meaning they don't do any writing with a chalk on the blackboard. In my opinion, are are victimizing the student.
By using the videos, by giving them this thing to lean on, instead
Yeah,
of making the student translate it into their own words, which is almost translating it to your own language, your own personal language.
correct. Into their own writing, the writing and making sketches on their notebook, their own. This is, well, obviously this is the way I was raised. Okay,
Mm.
back then there were no movies to watch. Okay, in the classroom, meaning that the teacher was yes working a lot harder than the teacher today. All right, how is that?
Yeah.
In fact, here's how the damage is done. This so-called new technology of teaching makes it easy for the teacher and toxic for the meaning for the giver and toxic for the receiver. All right, because neither is working. The
Mm.
teacher clicks some buttons. Uh, Quite often, the video has its own voice, and the student in the classroom behaves, meaning stationary, frozen, as if he came to the cinema, you know, to watch
Yes.
movies. No, education is not entertainment. Education is exactly what happens on the in during training in basketball. It's hard work, and it's all up to you to practice with that ball nonstop, to do it 100 times, and then do something else 100 times, and then go back to doing the first thing 100 times. It's called dexterity. It's Students today do not write by hand anymore. What they write is really ugly. They cannot make a sketch. These are students of engineering. They Yes, can you imagine that? These are people who are supposed to be designing the new whatever contrivances of the new machines, whatever. Never mind. The point is that imagination is about eventually making a sketch on paper to show the technician or the machinist what to build. If you cannot communicate graphically with your own hand, you see, hand waving doesn't work. You have to do it because pictures don't lie. If you cannot do that, you're basically a phony.
Mm.
And a lot of what's going on in education today is shallower than shallow. Uh,
Wow. Seems like what I got from that first part was you essentially have two passive entities working in conjunction to not learn anything, to not do anything. The teacher's passively putting on this video, they're not really actively engaging, and then the student is just passively watching this video. They're not actively engaging and conforming that material in a way in their own words so that they can walk away with their understanding of the material.
Yeah, or another way to describe the same one-two punch:
Hmm.
laziness galore, laziness on both sides, or pretending on both sides, from the teacher and from the student. They might as well not show up. In fact, this is what was going on during the pandemic. Neither was present, so that was the worst. Let's call it the unmasking of the crime, because back
Hmm.
then you knew, you saw the no, first of all, the top-down education, which goes on when you go to the movie. When you just watch a movie, it's top-down. Nobody can question what those actors are doing on the screen. Well, it was the same way during the lectures I witnessed during the pandemic. They showed whatever, it was Zoom. There was only one speaker. There was, of course, no blackboard. There was nobody who was taking notes. Uh, and everybody was probably doing something else, writing down their list of, grocery shopping or something,
Mm.
waiting for the hour to be over. All of this, Andre, especially in this very wealthy society, all of that pretending is being paid
Mm.
handsomely by the tuition that the students pay, or their parents are paying.
And eventually that's, I mean, it's going to come to bear. You can't cheat the system, you can't cheat the game. The lack of knowledge that you have will eventually come out the other end as a lack of output, a lack of, societal ingenuity, less flow, more pain, more suffering.
Exactly, because okay, it's just like a disease. Not working is attractive. If you get rewarded for not doing, why should you be doing? But I'm an optimist. The good news is that mothers keep giving birth to infants, and you have no idea how creative some of these babies grow up to be. Creative, independent, able to convince others that there's a better idea. And that is why, in a free society like here in America, uh, it is very, very important to maintain a sense of optimism, you see, because stupidity
Mm.
has its limits, as does laziness, or fakery, or pretension. Soon enough, as I said earlier, uh, even those at the top of this kind of charade will want the results, results. Otherwise, the locomotive runs out of steam. Remember, you're too young to remember, there was a great commercial in the 70s. Where is the beef? You've heard the expression? There was this, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where is
Where's the
the
beef?
beef?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I've seen this. I think they
Yeah,
brought it back
results.
later.
Results, like, yeah. Don't give me verbiage. Where's the meat between the hamburger buns? Um, um,
Yeah. Once you're eating air for long enough, you'll get hungry. You'll rebel. You'll want results. You'll want something
Absolutely.
that's substantive.
Incidentally, that was about politics. That was about voting. The infant who grows up to be an individual, meaning with his or her own mind and thirst to live. Okay, doesn't need any beef. It's inside the individual, this urge to do something. For example, you with your show, that's your idea. You're obviously happy as you do it. You, uh, I'm sure it was not handed down to you from, say, a rich parent or anything like that. I mean, same in my case. The point is, uh, thank God, mothers keep giving birth to babies, and that is how a free society uh, remains free.
Do you fear about the uh, American society remaining free in this?
Yes, it has this like any society. In fact, animal society is the same way. It is constantly renewing itself constantly. That is, if you pay attention, you see this. It's one reason my wife and I go to Africa every summer, every summer.